everybody. It's me, Katie DeFeo. I'm here with Alex Aust Marie McCool. May is Asian American Heritage Month, so I'm going to talk to the two of them about their experience being an Asian American lacrosse player. So, Alex, first, what has your experience been being Asian American and playing lacrosse? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's really interesting because I think I've struggled to find my voice or even really talk on my experience because my experience of being a lacrosse player has been nothing but amazing. It's given me every single thing that I've ever gotten in my life, which is why I think it's such an awesome sport. It's given me my relationships, my friendships, my memories, my fiance. So I would say lacrosse and what I've done with it and how far it's allowed me to go has been amazing. And it was never really something that I had brought to the forefront because there was just minimal representation in our sport. And really the only other person I knew that was Asian and American was Marie. So, as far as not ever feeling like I had someone that looked like me in our sport, that's the case, but that's kind of the case in any sport that I've ever played my whole life. I'm half Thai and half white, so I've always kind of struggled with being a little bit racially ambiguous and not really feeling like I fit into one side of the mold. So in doing so, I basically just tried my best to fit in, which was just in our sport, unfortunately, at the time of me growing up was mostly white. So I never brought it to the forefront. However, now looking back, it is something that I do want to say that I played on Team USA and won a gold medal being an Asian American, having both sides of the coin. So it's not something that it didn't bring me where I was or where I am now, but it's something that I want to talk about now, so that, I can just share my story.
Yeah. So you said you want to talk about it now. So what would be like one piece of advice that you would give to maybe a younger version of yourself or a young girl out there who's watching this video who is Asian American and also plays lacrosse?
Oh, well, I would say to stick with it and to continue to, play the sport because you love it, not because you look around to the left and to the right of you and someone looks like you. I think that the best part about being a female athlete is being able to do it your own way and making a name for yourself and kind of creating your own story. I think it's awesome to look up to athletes, but don't only look for people that look like you or don't only look for people that play lacrosse. Like look for role models in basketball or in soccer or just even on the men's side of the sport, right? So I would say stick with it if it's something you really love and it's something that you're passionate about, because lacrosse is something that can give you endless amounts of opportunities, and it's something to be really proud of. You don't have to assimilate and you can be whoever you are, and whatever you look like, whatever color you are, what I think that has opened all the gates for anyone. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Marie, how has your experience been?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely can relate to Alex a lot. I've obviously had such an incredible experience throughout my lacrosse career, and I'm so grateful for the sport of lacrosse and what it's given me, the opportunities, the relationships, the memories that will last forever. I definitely would say that I don't think I remember playing with anyone growing up who was Asian American. I think Alex was probably the first person I met. And I will say, like, that is something that I pointed out, I think, on an interview last week. Like, Alex and I have grown like into such like an incredible friendship, and I think we've bonded over the years because we're both Asian American and we're both half Asian. And so I think like that's one amazing thing that comes out of, being an Asian American lacrosse player is like there's very few of us. So I think it gives us something that we can relate to, we can talk about, and like we've developed such a strong friendship over the past few years. I think we instantly connected because of that. And we could talk about our stories growing up and talk about our parents and the amazing food that they make. Alex's mom's dumpling versus my mom's dumpling and how different they make them, but how great they all taste. So I think that's another thing that like I've just been so grateful for. I do remember like at one point in my college career, someone was like, it's so like you're so cool, Marie. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're an Asian that plays lacrosse. And I was like, oh, like I didn't even think about it like that. And I think like just like I said earlier, just not really being surrounded by anyone else around me who is Asian was not something I really ever thought about. And so I think now what I want to do is be a voice for, those out there and be an inspiration and just know that like you might look to the left and to the right of you and people might look different, but that shouldn't impact your love for the game and how you play the game and your respect for the game. And I think that it's something that you should own. And I think more recently I've kind of owned it and been proud, and I think really, really happy that, I am unique in this sport. So that's kind of been my outlook on it.
Yeah. Well, you kind of answered my second question, but I was gonna just say, so what would you potentially say, like a piece of advice for a younger version of yourself, or a young Asian American girls lacrosse player?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say like own it and be proud. I think that I had trouble when I was younger, like identifying myself with either white or Asian. And I think I mainly went more towards the white side because that's what I was surrounded by and that's what I felt was normal. But I think looking back on that, like I wish that I was a little bit more proud of like my Asian American heritage and the culture, but at the same time, like I'm really happy that I can reflect back on that and now use my platform and be a voice for a lot of those out there. So I think that would be my biggest advice is, just be proud of who you are and own it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys are an inspiration to many, and we're very thankful to be able to have you guys on here and help tell your story. So thank you guys so much for coming on today.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Catherine.
having us.
Thank you.